But we keep it warm in the studio, and like I promised, I've got a guest for us today. He is also from Pieties, but I'm not going to give too much away. I'm like going to let him introduce himself. Thanks, sir. Please introduce yourself.
Good morning to all the listeners of Umphakathi FM. It's such an honor to be here. Good morning, Gary, and everyone that is listening out there. Thank you so much. My name is Brian Raymond. As everybody says, I must call my surname Barons, but I grew up knowing it's Barons. So yes, because when I say Barons, it sounds like somebody who wants to say Gopani, but they want to make it nice and say Gupain. So that's my problem that I used to have when they tell me to do that. So yeah, I'm also honored to be here, Brian Raymond Barons. And for those that have been following me on Facebook and TikTok, I'm also playing the character Booty. So so it's the same guy sitting in studio today with my brother Gary. Thank you so much.
Yes, so welcome to the show. So are you Brian today or are you Booty today?
Depending on the questions.
Okay, so we're gonna leave the bread questions out.
yes, because if you're gonna go too much into Booty's character, I'm gonna need bread. I'm gonna need the dry bread, the fresh dry bread.
And a jug of coffee.
A jug of coffee, yes. Oh, yes, one of my followers, yes.
Yeah, so please do tell us more about yourself. What do you do? What is your job? And all the things that you are doing.
Yes. Now I've been struggling corporate for many years. Okay. Got married in 2008, and because you want to make life, the ends meet in life.
Yes.
You start in corporate and all that. But from a young age, at the age of 9, I started writing songs.
Okay.
And I've always had this creative thing inside of me. And as I grew up, I found myself stumbling upon a camera, and I started working with it. And I saw, I also have this. And I started, making beats and all that. And I saw, I also can do this. And more people, like what I do and all that. I'm not a best singer, but I've composed a few songs, and we've been singing the songs in our church. I made films so far. My first one was in 2008 when I bought my first camera. I've always tried to use because I wanted to push my media business to make money. But I also found myself, that this can also be a medium where I can do ministry, if I can put it in that way, to speak to young people, because I've always had a passion to work with young people. That's how I actually started in church. And me and my wife met while putting together a program for the young people.
In church?
Not in church, but
we put together.
So young people has always been the main part of my ministry and outreach and what I do. And because I was already in media, I started using that as well. That's how the character Booty also came about, because I started with stage plays, writing stage plays in church, and that's where the character started. So that's basically who I am. It's like a conglomerate of a lot of things. And at some point, I try to focus on one, because I always hear, when you listen to motivational speakers, focus on one thing, and this thing might give you the thing that you want in life and all that. And I struggled with that, and I was like, you know what? I'm already here now. Let me just do it. You understand? At the moment, I'm the drummer in church. Imagine.
Wow.
I'm playing drums in church.
And you sing also,
I do praise and worship. I lead, and so on. So I preach. When I get off stage, I go to the camera and I operate the camera and I show my assistant what to do.
So
and I'm all over the place. So it sounds like I don't know what I'm saying, but that's who I am. I don't know. Yes.
And I hear you talk about ministry. So you minister also. Tell us about that.
Yeah. I was ordained as a pastor in 2010, and ever since then we've been doing ministry, and while doing corporate work and trying to balance life and all that. But when we moved to Gauteng 10 years ago, 2014-15, when we moved here, the same thing happened to me, whereby the lifestyle was a bit different compared to Free State. I'm from Kroonstad originally.
Okay.
So when I moved here, the struggle was, now everything is higher, all the expenses. But then we didn't come and we didn't have like big jobs or job opportunities like 20,000 per month and all that. It was less than 10,000. So we had to now get rid of the mindset of the Free State economy. How do you call it? It's like, you understand that a house this size is 2.5. Gauteng.
Would be big.
Yes. Not even a garage is too big for you in Gauteng to now use and say, no, I'm gonna pay you less. So we had to adjust to that. But then 2-3 years ago, a year after the pandemic, the whole thing that had happened, I got retrenched. And ever since then, I told my wife, I don't think I'm fine because I'm not focusing. It's not fair to the company. It's not fair to the owners of the business. I can't push their vision because I'm struggling with mine.
Okay.
So I've always been in the sales business. I've been with Ashupol, I've been with Old Mutual, and I've always had those type of jobs, you understand? So the last one was I was selling products at a steel company. Okay. So I had to travel to Mpumalanga and Limpopo 3 days a week away from my family.
Most of the time
on the road, every night in a different guest house. But you know what the problem was? I spent 5 minutes in the shop and 30 minutes composing something in the car. Or writing a short story.
So
it wasn't fair.
On
man. Yeah. So coming back to your question, in terms of ministry and all that, it has never been something that I can say it's part of my career. I want to also add it so I look Christian or I look like I have Christian values. No, that's like the main thing. That's my main reason why I do what I do. You understand? Because I told myself I'm not going to limit myself to the pulpit. I'm not going to limit myself to the four walls of the church. I'm going to go out and do what I can do. What I want to do, and especially with the natural gift that I have with making clips and podcast interviews and all that, you understand? So all that is still happening, and to some guys will be like, okay, what do you want to be like? You don't look like a pastor. People tell me, I don't look like a pastor. So what does a pastor look like? I went, man. So what does a pastor look like? That's what I want to ask, because I think our pastors made it look like they put a stigma to it.
With a Bible under your head.
They put a stigma to it. Hey, you understand? And I don't have a problem with it, but this is just who I am. And I think it's because I've been working with young people so much that I never try to be young. Those that are trying to be young and you're trying to be cool and all that. But then at some point I told myself, I'm not gonna try and do this. This is me. There's nothing I can do about it. You know what I told somebody the other day? I always had a problem with my height. Sorry, ne? I always had a problem with my height. Ne? And someday, I believe it's a revelation from God, guys. It's not to make me feel better. I thought God told me, I made you like this so you can fit in with the young people. Not the young people. Everywhere. No, so man, and I've always looked young. If I have to say it myself, thank you, Facebook people. Or where are we now? Yes. So man, I've never tried to do it because I'm trying to push youth ministry. I'm trying to bring a new vibe to it. There have been people before me that has done it better. I know where to draw the line as well. I also know how to balance it, and that's my ministry life. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so I hear that you're talking about the podcasts and all that, but let's just take a small break, and then after that, then we'll come back to it. So, please, family, don't go anywhere.
Welcome to B-Flicks, your gateway to inspiring stories and meaningful conversations. Dive into a world of creativity and growth with our collection of short films, real-life documentaries, and engaging podcast episodes. Whether you're looking for personal inspiration, entertainment, or a deeper understanding of life's journeys, B-Flicks has something for everyone. Visit our website at www.bflix.co.za to explore our content library and subscribe for more updates. You can also connect with us on Facebook at B-Flicks Live. Start your adventure with B-Flicks, where stories come to life.
Brian is also doing movies, he's doing podcasts, he's also into ministry. We just found out that he's hip-hop pastor, but...
Hip-hop pastor,
But Brian, tell me, so you're doing podcasts and you're doing short movies. Tell us more about that, man.
How that came about was especially during the pandemic. I started a talk show on YouTube in 2017, and my pastor was the first, almost said client, salesman. My pastor was the first guest on my show, and I introduced it to my followers, and then that's where it started. So the Region show, if I may say it, sorry Umphakathi, I'll send you 7 more or something. So it started in 2017, and I shot a few episodes, like I'm doing the podcast style now. But then, was before it wasn't that popular yet.
Yeah,
the term podcast, yes. So it was more like a talk show. And so I tried to run with it, and I also shot a few short films, like a 11 episode series on YouTube, to keep things going and all that. And when the pandemic hit, I try to look for something because you have the internet. You pay all this money with the internet.
Yes.
I've been doing what I'm doing with my media, and I try to now be more visible on social media, and that's when I tried to start an online radio, and I got it right, and I ran the radio up until a year ago.
Okay.
So I had my own breakfast show.
And it was live?
Online. It was live. Online. Yes. The Regen show. I mean, the name of the breakfast show was the Regen show still.
Okay.
The name of the radio was Regen Radio. Regen is short for regeneration.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's a vision that I got in 2017, to uproot and to rebuild according to Jeremiah.
Yes.
You understand? So that's where it all started. And how it went to where it is now in terms of podcast was just, the format that changed. It's not necessarily something different from what I've been doing since 2017.
Yes.
So I've always had this desire for people to share their story, for people to share their deepest hurt. You understand? Yes. That's why the slogan of it is real conversations with real people.
Okay.
So the realness about the people is not just people that exist, but it's people that are open to say, I went through this and I'm not ashamed. Yes, you understand. So that's where it is. So the filming has always been part of me. I can easily write something down and we can quickly shoot it, whether it's a 20-minute, whether it's so we released a movie last year for my first time after almost 16 years from my first movie that a full movie that I released, Booty the movie.
Yes.
So because I'm the pastor and people would expect the kind of Christian-like movies and story and all that.
Shocked when they saw the movie.
But is more of the comedian side of me.
Yes.
So so I will always make jokes, and always say things, and I always use this excuse. Buti can say stuff that Brian cannot say. So
He gets away with certain things.
yes, I will deal with that when I meet God one day. Don't judge me. But what I'm doing is I give him all the weird stuff, and people love him because he's a straight talker. He will do things and people follow him. So the reason why I made Buti the movie, for those that have watched the movie, will see that there's still some Christian values. And the thing is, I never want to put something together on video that makes it look like Christian. I want you to find Jesus in the weirdest way.
Okay.
That's my approach, you understand? Some of them are so corny, and I love the work out there. I respect it and all that, but it's just not what I have, you understand? Somebody told me the other day, you never shot something in a church, and I said, I don't want that, because that's not where you find God. That's not the only place. You understand? You find Him. It's a personal thing, and then when you go to church, it's the result of you now understanding who He is to you, and now you want to go fellowship with people, and that's my understanding. And I know it's not always the same, because some people find God in the church because they come and all that. But then my view, and I think it's part of my vision that God gave me. I'm sorry for the long answer.
It's fine. The stage is yours, Pastor.
Is it?
We've got
Let's say stage, I'll jump now.
I had this one friend that says the pastor always says it's not going to be long. But he lies and then it's long.
Yes, that's so true.
The Booty movie, the movie Booty. I was fortunate enough to see it, and I must say it's a nice movie. And you're doing a follow-up in it, and whether are you also maybe doing something for the youth also? For the community? We are now shooting part 2 of Halfway to Nowhere that I wrote 3 months ago. So it's a 3-part series. Okay. So we released one. It was a screening in our church where I invited all young adults. My focus now is young adults. We have a younger man that's now running with the youth at our church that I used to do. Now I'm focused. I must graduate now. So I'm still overseeing the youth part of the ministry, but my focus in terms of programs, putting together programs, is for the young adults. So I could only go to something that I know.
And I said, okay, let me write something. And the reason why it's called Halfway to Nowhere is especially for young people like myself. At some point in your life, you are in your 20s, you have a nice job, but it's not what you want to do.
Yes, which is so true.
Yeah, you understand, and you're struggling. As I mentioned earlier, it's not fair towards the business and then the boss of, you know. And what happened was, I wrote this, and it's a young man that has a nice job, and he tells his mother, I'm going to leave. I want to leave my job. I want to start pursuing what I wanted to do, but we're going to have to adjust the expenses in the house because he's the main, the father's not around, and so
he's
on.
a
breadwinner, you understand. And just to show you, it's kind of like a black text thing, but the focus is not that. The focus is on the fact that pursue it, you understand, because because if you're not focused enough to follow your dream, to follow your passion, you are halfway to nowhere already. You're going to end up 60 years and be frustrated and say, I wanted to do that, and that's
but
it's too late. So we're releasing part 2 in the next few weeks. Part 3 is going to be somewhere in the summer. So it's a program that I'm keeping them busy with, you understand, so in a form of entertainment, but to also think about life.
So in a way, you're keeping the youth from off the street.
Always, to me, June month is every month. I always do something. I don't wait for June 16th because my son is born on June 16th, so I have to be at home. So I do all these things outside of that.
Just to spend the day with you. You know, that's awesome. No, I love the work that you do, and especially pursuing the youth so that they can change the mindsets. Because too many times the youth in our community, especially our community, their mindsets are not in the right place. Because if you go into the community today, now actually, you'll find that others that are sitting in the corners, they like movies say, halfway to nowhere. They're sitting there with no future, but they're halfway there, you understand? And they've got nothing to do for the rest of the day. They're just sitting there in two steps unless something speak.
So sad,
and it's so sad because the only way they can do that is by doing crime. So there's no positive things that is happening within our community. So is there maybe something that you can maybe try and get the community of the children of the community maybe also involved in some of your projects?
At the moment I went to some of the churches to ask for 2 or 3 people that I can add on to the next project. And I've also opened, I'm trying to go to schools whereby I want to make a Boetie, the movie version of the school. So because I still have the edits, I'm the writer and the producer of it, so I'm able to so I'm able to now alter some of the scenes and all that, but maybe because at the moment the main thing is the recent shooting that's been happening, and not just in Tukomsras, in all communities, you understand. So I wrote some scenes that I want to put in between the already. That's why I haven't released Boetie on a platform yet. The only people that saw it was when it was screened. So I'm still keeping it private. So I'm gonna edit and I'm gonna make it like a community stop the violence or put guns down version of it, and I use some of the drama class kids that are in school that are already doing drama. I want to take them and I want to include them in that for them as well, to also now have a taste of big screen acting if they haven't done it yet. But at the same time, that's what I'm trying to do, because I realized I've tried this, especially ever since I was ordained. I would look at evangelists, how they go out and they do their thing, and I'm like, okay, I don't have that. Is there something wrong with me? Okay, let me try something else. I sing, I rap in church and what, but I still feel like it's not enough. And I think I found, I think my evangelism format, I found it, and it's media, and I think there's nothing greater than this, than media. You understand? So I'm working with you guys, helping the next edict, and we've been going out, and to tell you the truth, ever since last year, ever since our first outreach, like we're gonna do tomorrow and Monday, I told myself, I thought I'm fine with my level of media evangelism, because now I found my thing. I was like, I haven't done anything yet. So it was another stage of I don't think I've done enough. So you see how God is slowly elevating you, understand your growth and all that, and I'm so happy to work with you guys, because now I'm able to now do that without me literally just going out. I'm behind you guys. You do the thing, but I'm here. I do podcast with you guys and all that, and that's where I find myself in terms of your question.
That's nice. Well, you guys, they don't know. Okay, so he's actually our cameraman, is our media man. So he does all the things for us media wise. So I'm glad that you say that you're going to use some of the youth of our community, which is actually good.
Yes.
So going into for this year, you say that you're going to do the halfway to nowhere, the other things.
Yes, it's a part 2 of it.
2 episodes, nah?
Yeah. There's still 2 episodes left.
Episodes, yeah.
Not to confuse the part 2 and so on with Booty 2.
Yeah.
Booty 2 is still coming.
Still
yes,
coming.
it's still coming. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry about that. No, Brian, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate you coming into the studio. I know it's cold, but you know it's all for the youth. It's for something good.
Yeah.
So thank you, man. Is there any last thing you would like to say? Any last messages or something?
The main thing is there's believe. Like if you are an older person or younger person, because what I've seen with my online radio program as well that I used to have, I tried to have a youth one, and I realized the realness about it is young people don't invest in your data to listen to a 1 hour show. You understand that they would rather do that to chat and go on social media. And I thought to myself, and God gave me this, that now create a show for parents about young people. Okay. Because we need to also educate parents on the you understand. So I did research on what this generation is about and how they think and how they see the world, and that's what I did. So my point that I want to make is we all have a struggle. Don't think that you are abnormal. If you are a bit different from from what you want to do as a young person out there, please stay focused, and we understand the stages, because I even told my son, he became 16 years last year, and when we had our fight, almost how we have our fights with our children, I said Elan Tate, I'm also going through a stage, because I never had a teenager in my house. You see what I'm saying? So we are both going through stages. So yeah, with all the experience that I've had with young people and grown-ups, advising grown-ups how to approach their children, that's basically it. We all have a struggle, but we will not always think the same, but we must think together. It's difficult, but let's just flow, because some natural things you can't fight. You can't make rules in your house and skip those parts. I hope I'm making sense. Thank you so much.
No, thank you very much. My family name is Brian.